What if I told you that the future of US government hiring now rests in the hands of a man who once launched a car into space? No, this isn't a joke. Elon Musk, the billionaire known for his audacious ventures and unpredictable social media presence, has just been handed unprecedented influence over federal hiring. And the most bizarre part? It all started with a casual Oval Office visit sparked by a conversation about Dogecoin. In a move that has stunned both political analysts and tech insiders, President Trump signed an executive order granting Musk and his team oversight of federal hiring decisions. Agencies must now seek approval from DOGE, not the cryptocurrency, but Musk's newly formed Department of Government Employment, before filling key positions. The Oval Office has seen its fair share of unexpected guests, but even seasoned White House staffers were caught off guard that crisp autumn morning. Musk, exuding his usual mix of casual confidence and disruptive energy, strode into the room, turning heads in a place where decorum usually reigns. What made the scene even more surreal? The toddler at his side, his son, taking in the grandeur of the historic chamber with wide-eyed fascination. As Secret Service agents exchanged wary glances and aides scrambled to make sense of the unplanned meeting, whispers rippled through the West Wing. Was this about Tesla? SpaceX? Twitter? Speculation ran wild while outside, the press corps assembled, sensing that something big, if not entirely comprehensible, was unfolding. Inside the Oval Office, Musk's laid-back demeanor stood in stark contrast to the room's historic weight. He lounged comfortably in a chair, his son perched on his lap, chatting animatedly with the president. The leader of the free world, typically a stickler for protocol, seemed both entertained and slightly puzzled by his guest's unconventional approach. Bringing his child to a high-stakes meeting was classic Musk, equal parts endearing and provocative. Some saw it as a refreshing departure from the rigid formality of Washington, while others viewed it as a calculated move to soften his image and disarm skeptics. Either way, it was a reminder that Musk didn't just challenge norms, he rewrote them. This offbeat approach fits seamlessly into Musk's carefully cultivated identity as a disruptor. Whether in business, space exploration, or now politics, he thrived on defying expectations. Strolling into the White House with a toddler in tow sent a clear message. He intended to shake up the government just as he had Silicon Valley. Yet his unchecked access to the president raised alarms across Washington. Critics warned it blurred the already thinning lines between tech giants and federal power, granting Musk outsized influence over policy. Supporters, however, saw his involvement as a long-overdue injection of innovation into an archaic system. As speculation swirled, theories ran wild. Was Musk negotiating a lucrative SpaceX contract, lobbying for a nationwide Tesla charging network? Or was this just another headline-grabbing stunt to boost his empire's stock prices? The truth, when it finally surfaced, was more unexpected than anyone had guessed. Musk wasn't pitching rockets, cars, or crypto. He was there to unveil DOGE, not the meme-fueled currency, but the Department of Government Efficiency, a radical new initiative to overhaul federal operations. The revelation sent shockwaves through Washington. The idea of a tech mogul being handed free rein to reinvent government hiring was met with both enthusiasm and alarm. Supporters hailed it as a long-overdue modernization of a bloated bureaucracy, while critics warned of conflicts of interest and the perils of applying Silicon Valley's move fast and break things mentality to essential government functions. But what does it really mean for a private citizen to wield control over federal hiring? The Department of Government Efficiency's unprecedented authority was about to reshape Washington in ways few could have imagined. At its core, DOGE represents an audacious attempt to inject Silicon Valley's efficiency-driven mindset into the sluggish machinery of government. Officially, its mission is to streamline hiring and personnel management across federal agencies. But its impact extends far beyond mere administrative tweaks. What makes DOGE so unprecedented is the sheer power granted to a single individual. Elon Musk, long known for upending industries and rewriting the rules, now holds direct influence over the makeup of the federal workforce. Traditionally, such authority has been tightly controlled by established agencies with layers of oversight. Now that balance has shifted. Supporters argue this radical shakeup could revolutionize government operations. If applied correctly, Silicon Valley's rapid iteration, data-driven decision-making, and cutting-edge technology could overhaul how federal agencies recruit and retain talent. In theory, it could create a more nimble, responsive government, one better equipped for the challenges of the modern era. Yet the unprecedented nature of this arrangement has sparked serious concerns. Chief among them, conflicts of interest. Musk's sprawling business empire, including SpaceX and Tesla, relies on government contracts, regulations, and oversight. Critics fear his new role could erode the firewall between private interests and public responsibilities, raising questions about the integrity of federal hiring. The ripple effects of DOGE on existing agencies could be profound. Departments accustomed to traditional processes may now face pressure to conform to Musk's efficiency-driven model. While streamlining operations is often seen as positive, some worry about the potential loss of institutional knowledge and specialized expertise that agencies have spent decades cultivating. Efforts to reform federal bureaucracy are nothing new. Past administrations have launched numerous initiatives aimed at making government leaner and more effective, yet these efforts have often stumbled against entrenched norms and systemic resistance to change. Whether DOGE can succeed where others have failed remains an open question. As DOGE prepares to flex its authority, speculation runs rampant. Will agencies see a wave of tech-savvy hires? How will traditional civil service protections hold up against the push for speed and efficiency? The answers could redefine the federal workforce for years to come. Musk's team is expected to prioritize a streamlined, data-driven hiring process, one that diverges sharply from traditional government methods. Faster recruitment cycles, algorithmic candidate assessments, and a shift in the skills valued by federal agencies could all be on the horizon. But this approach raises pressing concerns about transparency and accountability, foundational pillars of government hiring. Federal processes have been meticulously designed to ensure fairness, diversity, and merit-based selection. Whether DOGE can uphold these principles while pursuing its aggressive efficiency agenda remains to be seen. Musk, for his part, insists DOGE will operate with maximum transparency. Yet a paradox emerges. How can an entity exempt from open records laws claim true openness? This contradiction sits at the heart of growing unease over Musk's role in reshaping federal hiring. Musk's bold claims about DOGE's transparency stand in stark contrast to its legal reality. He declared, "All of our actions are maximally transparent. In fact, I don't know of an organization more transparent than DOGE." Yet the entity is exempt from open records laws, raising immediate questions about how the public can verify such assurances. This contradiction becomes even more troubling in light of Musk's own history with transparency. His financial disclosures, key to identifying potential conflicts of interest, remain tightly guarded. Given his sweeping influence over federal hiring, this secrecy fuels concerns about whether DOGE's decisions will truly serve the government's best interests or quietly advance Musk's vast business empire. Musk's track record of grandiose, sometimes misleading statements only adds to the unease. He has openly admitted, "Some of the things that I say will be incorrect and should be corrected." While this candor might be forgivable in the tech world, it raises serious red flags when applied to federal hiring and government efficiency, arenas that demand precision, accountability, and consistency. The challenge of ensuring transparency in both Silicon Valley and Washington is already formidable. Tech giants are often criticized for their opacity, while government agencies face relentless scrutiny over their own transparency failures. Musk's attempt to fuse these two worlds through DOGE presents an unprecedented challenge. How will he reconcile the need for rapid innovation with the government's obligation to maintain public trust? The contrast between Musk's informal approach and the gravity of federal oversight is particularly stark. When questioned about accountability, his response was surprisingly dismissive, suggesting that if conflicts arise, people will just speak up. This laissez-faire attitude may work in startups, but in government, formal oversight mechanisms exist for a reason. Moreover, Musk's deep ties to companies like SpaceX and Tesla, both of which rely on government contracts, make the risk of conflicts of interest unavoidable. How will DOGE ensure that efficiency measures don't conveniently benefit Musk's businesses? The absence of clear safeguards against such entanglements remains one of the most glaring flaws in Doge's structure. The consequences of this approach to transparency extend far beyond Doge itself. If Musk's model becomes the new norm for government operations, it could fundamentally reshape the relationship between the public and federal agencies. Instead of true openness, we may see a shift toward corporate-style opacity, where transparency is promised but lacks the infrastructure to support it. As Doge begins its work, these concerns are only set to grow. Will Musk's pledge of maximum transparency translate into real policies, or will it remain an aspirational but unfulfilled claim? The success of Doge and public trust in government efficiency efforts hangs in the balance. Looking ahead, the long-term impact of Musk's role in federal bureaucracy is impossible to ignore. Prioritizing efficiency over established protocols may streamline operations, but at what cost? This shift raises urgent questions about the balance between innovation and accountability in government. Will this tech-driven model of governance truly serve the public good, or will it primarily benefit those with power and influence? As this experiment unfolds, it's more important than ever to remain informed and engaged. The fusion of Silicon Valley's ethos with federal administration could redefine our understanding of democracy and governance for years to come.